What's up everyone, and today I'm bringing a deck profile on my Melffys now. The cool thing with the Melffys is that you can use a whole bunch of other engines to really power this deck up, which is what you'll see. Obviously you can see Spright, which it's not just Spright, also got Adventure and Tri-Brigade in this as well. And even with all that, it still ends up creating a really good board. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. I run 3 copies of Melffy Wally. This is one of the newest Melffys released in, well, not really new, it's Power of the Elements, but I guess like the most recent Melffy support. And Melffy Wally is easily the best of all the Melffys. So, whenever your opponent normal special summons a monster or declares an attack on Wally, you can return this card to the hand to special summon 2 Melffys from your deck. And all the Melffys have an additional effect that during the end phase, if they're in the hand, they can special summon themselves, or during our end phase. Now, essentially you really only need your opponent to summon like 3 times to really get the most out of the Melffys, which you'll see in a bit. Also run 3 copies of Caddy and 3 copies of Puppy. Caddy, when your opponent normal special summons, you can bounce Caddy to add a Melffy, and Puppy is the same, but instead of adding, you can special. Now, off of Caddy, you'll usually add the Melffy Penny. Penny is very useful because it gets you into one of your biggest plays. So Penny has a quick effect. You can special summon this card from your hand, and immediately after this effect resolves, synchro summon 1 synchro monster using this Melffy control and Melffys from your hand. So usually what you're going to do is you're going to go for the Melffy Penny first, add that to hand so you got 1 in hand. Then you'll go into Caddy and Puppy, so then you bounce those back so you have 3 in hand. And then you also have this in hand, which will give you a level 8 synchro. I also run 1 Melffy Pony. I run this that way I can get it up to 10. So basically, if you have this 1 card, this gets you a Baron de Fleur. So if any of the 1 card Baron de Fleur, obviously that your opponent has to summon in order for you to trigger the effect, which most decks do. So you're definitely going to get it up to a pretty good synchro, and I do have like a level 4, 6, 8, 10 synchro. So basically, no matter where you're going to end up, you're going to be able to get something. Now, Pony is really cool because if an opponent's monster targets this card for attack, or if they normal special summon, you can return this card to the hand and add 1 level 2 or lower beast monster from your graveyard to your hand. Now, this is really good because of the Tri-Brigade engine. Now, for the Tri-Brigade engine, it's pretty small, but most oftentimes you're going to have the Tri-Brigade kit in the graveyard, so you can just use this, grab kit back to your hand, add this back to your hand as well, so then you have a Baron de Fleur, as well as the kit in your hand for next turn. Also run of Calantosa. Now, this one I don't really go into as much, I'd say. If I happen to open Pony or I don't have access to all the Melffys, like let's say Puppy gets negated or something like that, then I'll probably go into, or let's say Caddy or one of the others gets negated, then I could probably go into Calantosa instead, which will pop 1 when it's summoned. So basically, you summon this on your opponent's turn to pop 1, so a little bit of disruption. Now I did say I was playing Spright. I played 3 Spright Blue. I don't have any copies of Spright Blue because honestly I had the feeling it was going to, it could potentially get hit on the list, so I didn't really want to buy copies of it if it was going to get hit, which it didn't. Well, then again, nothing really got hit. I also run 1 Jet, 1 Red, and 1 Carrot. Now the Spright engine is pretty important for this deck because so usually on your end board you're going to have the gigantic Spright, which you can then use to special the Melffy Wally, or I was calling it Fenny, Melffy Wally from the deck. And so let's say you have blue and any other card, so you summon blue, add the Spright, add Jet, special Jet, add the starter, then on your opponent's turn you can summon Carrot or Red for another disruption. I did say I was playing the Adventure engine with the 3 Water Enchantress and the 1 Wandering Griffin Rider. We don't really use our normal summon monsters effect because the Melffys only have effects when your opponent normal special summons a monster or declares an attack on one of your Melffys. So most oftentimes I'll normal Melffy, special blue if I have that. So I don't really use my normal summon monsters effects all that much, and having a negation is pretty good. Also run, as I said before, a Tri-Brigade engine with the kit, Nerval, and Karis. Since Sprint can send a level 2 graveyard, I can use Sprint to send kit, which will send Nerval, which will allow me to add Karis. And let's say I have another Melffy in hand, I can discard it to summon Karis, and then I can, use this effect to get the double Dragon Lords. Moving on to spells, I run 3 Pot of Prosperity, Now, this card don't really use to the fullest, I would say. Most oftentimes I end up just banishing 3 just because depending on how the hand goes, I may end up using quite a bit of my extra deck. But most of the stuff in the extra deck are situational. Like I say, on turn 1, there's only 3 extra deck monsters that you're probably even going to summon, which would be Double Dragon Lords, Spright Sprint, and Gigantic Spright. Like, that's pretty much mostly it. There's other stuff that we may summon, but for the basic combo, it's those 3. Of course, I run the 3 Rite of Aramis here, 1 Faithful, and the 1 Draco back, as well as 2 Spright Starter. Starter, if you don't know, special is a Spright from your deck, but you take damage equals to its attack, which is irrelevant. And as for the traps, I just run 3 infinite permanents. Good going first and good going second. As for the extra deck, I run the 1 Spright Sprint, which is very important because using the Sprint to send the kit to get your whole Tri-Brigade engine online. Also run the 1 Baron Blossom, the 1 Shurug, and the 1 Double Dragon Lords. This is pretty much like for the Tri-Brigade engine, and usually you'll have Sprint and Double Dragons on the field. Also run 1 Phoenix, Unicorn, and access code to help close games out. As for XYZ, I have 1 Joyous Melffy. This usually ends up just being a prosperity target, so like honestly, if you want to swap it out for something else, that is another option. But I do run 1 copy of Melffy of the Forest, which I don't have, which is surprising. I thought I did. So Melffy of the Forest, you can detach 1 material from this card to add 1 Melffy card from your deck to your hand. And if another face-up Melffy monster control returns to the hand, you can target 1 face-up monster opponent controls. It cannot attack, and its effects are negated while it's face up on the field. So that could be potentially useful in like turn 3, or because you're not really going to go into these as much because your basic plays are Sprint, the Double Dragon Lords, and Gigantic Spright. Also run 1 Zeus because you never know when that might come up. And for synchros, I run 1 Merry Melffys, 1 Charge Warrior, 1 Savage Dragon, and the 1 Baron de Fleur. Usually you're going to go into either Savage or Baron de Fleur, but if you're not able to get a good enough board out, or if they're able to disrupt your board, you might just end up with the Charge Warrior, which isn't too bad because, you know, that's still a draw, and of course you still got your Sprites and the Double Dragon Lord. And you basically make these on your opponent's turn, and you're usually going to have a link in the graveyard with the Sprint, you know, overlay Sprint and either blue or jet for the Gigantic Spright, detach the Sprint to make the Borreload Savage Dragon. That's it for my Melffy deck. Let me know what you think of this deck. I think it's pretty cool. You know, obviously it's a mixture of a whole different bunch of stuff. Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video I make. Bye.